Hi, my name's Frank Davey. I'm a school teacher. I live in Lesmurdy in Western Australia, and the last 2 years have been pretty amazing in my life. 2 years ago, next month, I went to the doctor and had a blood test, and my PSA, or my prostate specific antigen, it's worrying if it's over 4 or 5, and mine was 127. And the doctor said, look, I'm sure there's a mistake here in the lab. We'll send it, do another test. So we had another test that day. It was 129, and he very quickly sent me off to a urologist who quite bluntly told me that I had metastatic prostate cancer. The prostate cancers are regular for men, but the metastatic meant that it had spread through my body, and it had spread so far that in the prostate and then into the spine, into the femur, into the lymph nodes, and again, very kindly but bluntly, he said there's 2 ways we judge these things: how aggressive they are and how far they've spread. And he says, I just told you they've spread there, and on the Gleason scale, you're an 8 out of 10, so it's really aggressive. And this is a shock to the system. I was fit and healthy, and suddenly I'm told I've got cancer that spread through my body. And I remember going, in the bone? And he said, yes, in the bone. He sent me off to an oncologist, and she arranged, we had 18 weeks of chemo, 6 sessions over 3 weeks. And when I came back at the end of the chemo and spoke to her, and I said, look, I want to fight this. And she says, I'm going to be blunt with you. You don't get better from this. Hopefully we'll give you 5 years, maybe 10 years, but you don't get better. And that was a bit of a shock to the system. And people prayed for me, people around the world were praying, which was wonderful. All churches, different people we knew, I was on their prayer list, Manjimup, England, throughout Perth. And when I'd just been, even before the chemo, my little grandson, who was 6 at the time, he was looking upset. My daughter said, what's the problem, Levi? And he said, I'm upset about Poppy. And she said, do you want to go around and pray for him? He said, yes. So they drove around, and I'm there. And I said, oh, what are you guys doing here this time of night? And Nicole said, Levi wants to pray for you. So I went to a room and knelt down. The 6-year-old boy laid his hands on me, and he prayed for healing. And then when he said amen, he said, Poppy, God says you're going to be healed even before the operation. And this was pretty mind-blowing. And a couple of weeks later, all my family, my kids, their spouses, their grandkids, all laid hands on me and prayed for me. Even another specialist I went to for a skin cancer removal, and he heard what had happened. He's a Christian guy, and he said, can I pray for you? So it was wonderful, the amount of prayer. Anyway, we went through the chemo and went back to the oncologist, and she said, oh, I'm just downloading your report. I had a PET scan beforehand. A PET scan is a radioactive, they put radioactive isotopes into your bloodstream, then they take a CAT scan, and mine came up, any cancer comes up, high visibility yellow. And my prostate was full, chock full of cancer. And you could see it in the femur, in the spine, in the lymph nodes. Then we went back, 6, 8 months later, and had another PET scan, another $1,000, sadly, with no rebate. And but it was a wonderful $1,000 to spend, because this time the PET scan came, the radioisotopes, I took the CAT scan, and there was nothing there. And the oncologist is a quiet lady. She was nearly jumping out of her seat. She goes, this changes everything. This changes everything. And the report had said complete metabolic reversal in all forms of cancer. Basically, that means it's gone. There's none there anymore. And I'd been healed, praise God, even before the operation, because even though the cancer had gone, the urologist said, let's be on the safe side. Let's get rid of the prostate, because it may come back again. So I was healed before the operation, just as Levi had prophesied. And I praise God for that. And the thing that I don't understand, why me? I'm not a good person. So many people more deserving. But we sing a song here at Elevate that says, I didn't earn it, I don't deserve it. It's God's reckless love for me. And for some reason, God's reckless love touched me and changed me and healed me. I'm now back at work full time and loving life, full, healthy, back on the bike, back on the kayak, my wonderful grandchildren around me, and I give God the glory because He did it. He healed me.